Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. This is the Sunday Book Review edition for the Daily Compliance News, September 8th, 2019. First up, Sovietistan, a journey through Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan by Erika Fatland, a Norwegian cultural anthropologist. In this, she takes a journey through what is now called the stands, but it's really multiple countries in the Central Asia, which were the theater for Russia and Britain's great game in the 19th century. It's a fascinating journey where she looks at not only the official story, but the day-to-day lives of people in each region and each country. I think that every compliance practitioner ought to take a look at this book because it really gives you insights into not only what life and business are like in the stands, but how they differ from country to country. So check it out, Sovietistan. Next up, a really interesting book around pro football, which opened this weekend, called Tough Luck by R.D. Rosen. It's about Sid Luckman, and if you're a pro football aficionado of any note, you know Sid Luckman led the Chicago Bears to 4 NFL championships in the 1940s, and more importantly, he was the quarterback who led George Halas's T formation revolution in the 40s. Most of the option plays today come straight out of the T formation, showing in football that nothing is ever new again. But it turns out the life of Sid Luckman was actually much more interesting, as his father was not only a convicted murderer, but part of Murder, Inc. in Brooklyn. And Luckman was able to extricate himself from that through playing football. He went to Columbia, where he was a college all-star, and then on to the pros. So it's a great biography of Luckman, the early to mid part of the NFL, certainly the formation of the T formation. And if you're interested in any kind of option football, this is the formation that it all started with. So check it out. Tough luck. Next, we turn to the realm of fiction, which we rarely do on the Sunday Book Review, but a book entitled White Hot Silence, which is a kidnapping case, but it involves trade sanctions, money laundering, and current export controls that are all in place. And I thought it would be a great way for you to take a look at not only the intersection of these three from the compliance perspective, but how the bad guys are able to use a variety of shell corporations to launder money in various ways literally throughout the world, and why commercial organizations need to tear down the silos of these three corporate compliance disciplines and integrate them into one. So check it out, White Hot Silence. It's a rollicking good fun, and I think that you will learn a lot. And we conclude with a book called The Anarchy by William Dalrymple. And this is an early history or perhaps a full history of the East India Company. This was not the first corporation, but certainly the most successful of the early British corporations. And it really takes apart the published history of India and how Britain was able to conquer India, because it was the East India Company which did this. It was the total fusion of trade and the sword. And this book by Dalrymple really articulates the tactics used by the East India Company, the corporate structures of the company, and how bribery and corruption is certainly not something new, but it's been around for quite some time. But if you want to have a great history read, if you want to learn about corporations, if you want to learn about the British Empire and how it was able to expand, this is certainly the book for you. So those are the 4 books that caught my eyes this week for the Sunday Book Review. This is Tom Fox. If you'd like to listen to a podcast, which is a lot of fun, check out this week's Everything Compliance, where we take a look at Trump's purchase of Greenland from the compliance perspective.